Welcome everyone to Sonoma Raceway in Sonoma, California for MotoAmerica AMA FIM North American Road Race Championship. We're at round 7 of 10 for 2018, and this is the Cycle Gear Championship of Sonoma. I'm Greg White, sitting alongside Jason Pridmore in the booth. And Jason has won a couple AMA national titles in his day. Won a race at Daytona once or twice, and we're getting ready for the Liqui Moly Junior Cup, race number 1 presented by Riders Law. Jason, and you just left the booth and came back and said it's windy, like that flag.
It's howling. You know, you and I came up here for qualifying for the Superbike class, Super Pole earlier, and yeah, the wind is howling, and we're going to get a good look at our track here, Greg. Turn 1. You know, when you look at turn 1 here, these guys are going to be going through turn 1 in a way they haven't gone through it all weekend, and we'll explain that when we get to the broadcast. Up to turn 2, really steep uphill. You can't see that in our drawing so much, but down into turn 3, 3A is all that left-right, down into turn 4. Turn 5 is a very fast right-hander that you come up over a hill into turn 6, which is the famous carousel. Then you can see probably our biggest straightaway after that from turn 6 down to 7. We'll see a lot of passing on the entry to 7. The S's there through turn 8 down to turn 9. Very key to have your bike set up well to get through all those S's fast. You can make up a lot of time there. Down into very hard braking turn 9, 9A into 10. These little Liqui Moly bikes will be going through the gears a lot at this track as they head to turn 11. Last passing opportunity on the track, and a good one. It's a sprint to the finish from there, Greg, out of turn 11. Slowest corner maybe on the circuit. I don't know on this circuit specifically, but maybe on our circuit of on our calendar. I think turn 11 here might be one of our slowest.
Yeah, it definitely might be. Definitely a first gear corner in all motorcycles. As we are getting ready for this race, we have a championship points battle. We've seen Alex Dumas and Ashton Yates kind of battling it out all year in terms of the points. Dumas with a 48-point lead. And up until our last round, round number 9, Alex Dumas and Ashton Yates were the only 2 riders that had won a race. But here's the way they ended up qualifying. It was Ashton, Corey Ventura, and then Alex Dumas on your front row.
Yep, then Mark Edwards, Jane Newton, Kevin Almeida there on row 2. Then we look a little further back, row 3, Gage Reese, Jackson Blackman, Toby Kamsuk, who had some really good pace going to start the weekend. Jarrett Nassani, Sean Varsky in his first try here at Sonoma, Drake Beecham. They're just on the outside of row 4. Gavin Anthony, who we've seen run up front. Damian Jiglov. Good to see Damian back again, second round with us. Cameron Jones. Then we got Renzo Ferreira, our winner at our last race in Utah, his first time here, as Damian Jiglov also. Trevor Standish, Joseph Blasius, Nate Minster, Jamie Astudillo. You see qualified back there a little further back, Greg, in 20th. Hunter Dunham. Then we got David Kolstedt, Nick Schwensgaard, and Dylan Deutschlander in row 8.
And as we finish off rows 9 and 10, Jack Roach, Brett Voorhees, Ryan Deutschlander, and Trevor Daniels are going to do it. So 28 riders in this field, really becoming a very, very popular class here, the Liqui Moly Junior Cup. 25 years old, the age limit for this one. You can be as young as 14, and very economically priced motorcycles, so you can get out and showcase your talent in front of all the team managers here at the MotoAmerica circuit. As we know, Roger Hayden on the Yoshimura Superbike Factory team head for retirement, and as he does, his spot opens up, and so that's going to shift a lot of these racers in this paddock. And Jason, we could see some of the riders from Liqui Moly Junior Cup possibly advancing into super sport rides, left vacant by riders advancing into the Superbike class, which is what this is all about.
Yeah, that's what we have. And here on the front row this weekend, it's great. We got a Kawasaki, a Yamaha, and a KTM on the front row, which is showing some of what this whole series is about when we started to bring all these other manufacturers and get them involved. I think, too, this track specifically, you see Melissa Paris there with her rider Corey Ventura smack in the middle of the second front row. Corey just back from Italy and riding with a lot of confidence, it looks and it seems. But this is a kid that I've pegged really even last year, Greg. You know how I've thought about him, watching him ride and the things he's doing. And it seems like now he's really even got more of a handle coming back from Italy this weekend. You can see a sense of confidence in his riding. But, you know, it's nice to see that we've got 3 different brands. The other thing I was going to point out is this is the biggest gap that we have from first to the last person on our grid of somewhat almost 10 seconds. And that's the kind of track that Sonoma is. It's a track where if you're local, it's a track that you get to know well. And you can see these guys firing off now into this first turn. And we brought it up at the beginning of the broadcast. That right there is the first time those guys have gone through that corner the way they just did. Being meaning that they block that off and make a bit of a chicane out of it when these guys come around for their second laps during the course of the race. They'll block that back off, and there'll be a place there to kind of slow them down before they go up the hill.
So here at Sonoma Raceway, last time we saw championship points leader Alex Dumas, by the way, in 9 rounds of racing. Dumas had one DNS, did not start, and 1 DNF. So other than that, when we got to Utah, our last round, Alex Dumas, when he finished, only won. So in our very last race, though, at Utah, it was the first time Alex had been beaten all year. And he had a look on his face that was very interesting because he was actually showing some emotion. So Jade's going to, this is the first chance that Alex has had really after defeat come in here.
Yeah, that's right. You can see he's got a 48-point lead, 61 over his teammate Ambarski, and Corey Ventura there in 4th, almost 70 points back. But, I think that when you get used to winning, you get addicted to it. And Alex is definitely, this is a track where this is purely a rider's track. It doesn't matter what you can think about any advantages that somebody might have over another as far as machine go. This is a kind of track where you can see somebody really step up. And you've seen, like I said, we've got a lot of the guys, a very close field in those first 2 or 3 rows. And I expect to see a pack of 4, 5, 6 guys going at the front here. But yeah, Alex wasn't happy finishing 3rd there at Utah, and I think that that's going to add fuel to his fire today. And I think when these guys come around now for their warm-up lap, the big thing I'm going to watch, I kind of felt like this would be a great track for Ashton Yates. His dad was always amazing around this place.
Oh, yeah.
And so I know Ashton's got some definite coaching in that regard. Ashton's a bigger kid. He can kind of muscle his way around this track a little. I think that the first 20 seconds of this race for Ashton are going to be so important because going up this big steep hill, if he can just get that Cowie off the line and kind of be in the top 4 or 5 going up over the rise there, I think he'll be very difficult throughout the course of the race. It's just going to be a matter of him getting that bike off the line the way he needs to do it.
Lightly modified street bikes, 400 cc's and under, as we have 3 manufacturers on that front row, and we're getting ready to get this 12-lap race underway. Red lights will go on and off, clutches out, and it's the mad dash to turn number 1. Here we go.
Ashton got a great start. Best start we've seen from him all year. Looked like he might have missed a gear, but he got it going. So Ashton with a good start there in 3rd. It looked like Alex Dumas was sweeping around the outside of Corey, but I think Corey held him off as they go up the hill first time. You can see there's your front 3 guys from the front row, all got tremendous starts.
Yeah, much better for Ashton Yates, and he's going to really only take a couple corners before he starts shooting off. So Ventura, who just came from the VR46 Valentino Rossi's ranch area where he got some training in Italy, like Jason was talking about, with a heap of confidence now on his MP13 Yamaha R3.
Yep, Jane Newton jumps in the 4th place. You can see Ashton's already going to try to go to work on Corey Ventura as they come up under or up over the hill there going into the carousel. There's a lot of bumps just on the very inside tight part of that track. These front 3 guys are already starting to move away. And you see Ashton just trying to draft Corey, and now Alex has a double draft on both of them. And he gets past Ashton as they head down into turn 7. He's going to slot himself in a second. Ashton's going to turn it back up underneath him.
Yeah, he really gets that Kawasaki turn when he wants to. We've seen him take some really tight lines through corners that are important in other racetracks we've been to.
Yeah, he likes to open up the entries a lot as well, Greg. He can really do whatever he wants, as you say, on that bike. And right there, he was able to just cut it back up underneath Alex. And he's having a look, not quite close enough to do anything with Corey, going down into this little chicane here. They'll come out of here, they go up a couple gears, and Corey's bike really good out of there. Looked like Ashton maybe missed a gear again as Alex Dumas trying to look at going around the outside of Ashton there. It's going to be very difficult for him to do that. It allowed Corey to just move out just a little bit. It's going to be I think it's the first lap all year we've seen Corey actually lead. So This is kind of where I've expected Corey all year long.
So Corey Ventura coming across the line, number 64. Then it's Ashton Yates, Alex Dumas, Jay Newton on the 98 gets ahead of Mark Edwards, Kevin Olmedo, Jackson Blackman at 7, Tony Campson, Gage Reese, and Sean Umbarski, your top 10.
So we'll see if right now the first 2 guys just kind of moving away a little bit from Alex right now. And Jay Newton's been able to kind of stick on the back. Alex Dumas, first flying lap. We'll get a real chance to see what these 2 guys here were pretty consistent. They got down to the low 49th this morning. And Alex has been having a lot of trouble in that first sector, and you can see these guys have pulled a gap on him just a little bit.
Yeah, Jay Newton there is on the 98. He's out of Montgomery, Texas on the AGV Sport Monkey Moto machine. His teammate, Mark Edwards, right behind him, same AGV Sport Monkey Moto, but a local is Mark Edwards. He's from Roseville, California, and he really is very familiar with this racetrack. So, you know, this is part of what we wanted to see in this class, Jason. Rule changes have been made almost on the weekly with the Liqui Moly Junior Cup presented by Riders Law to get these machines equal, and now you're seeing at least those rule changes working for the Yamaha R3 and making it a competitive motorcycle as Corey Ventura continues to lead the way here working lap number 2.
Yeah, MotoAmerica's done a great job of trying to get the rules a little bit closer. As you can see now, Ashton goes up underneath Corey as they head down. Corey doesn't want to give it up. Has to give it up a little bit there, so now Corey's going to get a chance to see where Ashton might be a little bit better. And the two guys at the front are doing some battling. It's allowed Alex to get a little bit closer, and he's pulled clear of that battle for 4th.
Yeah. Ooh, that was really close.
But I think that what you're going to see now is it might settle down between these first 3 guys if they continue to pull away just a little bit. If they continue to engage, Corey's going to try to go back up underneath Ashton, and that is such a hard move. That is a hard move. A great move by Corey Ventura down. And look what it did.
It slowed him.
It slowed Ashton down so much it ruined his drive, didn't it?
Yeah, it sure did. I think that surprise right there, and also Ashton had to take that line over. There's a curbing on the exit there that is actually, people just used it as part of the racetrack. You saw it on the exit of turn number 1. With no big dramas, that's something they normally do. So, beautiful move, unexpected move by Corey Ventura. He's hungry for it.
It's a big commitment.
Yeah. So Corey Ventura, who's had a best finish of 2nd place, and surprisingly for us, he sits 4th in points, but only 2 podium appearances for Ventura so far this season.
Yeah, and you can see now these guys in the back in 3rd and 4th, it really allowed them to close, or 4th and 5th, it allowed those 2 guys to close up, but they lose a little bit of time in this first sector. Now Alex is on the back of Corey as they head out of turn 7 and they start heading down towards 7. Let's see if Alex can go underneath Corey. Corey's been really good on the brakes. Alex just slides up underneath him there.
Can Alex hold it tight though, because he pushes him a little wide. So Dumas now takes over the lead. So the 23 for the moment, they nearly go side by side. So Alex Dumas on the KTM Orange Brigade JP43 training motorcycle takes the lead for the moment.
So now Corey's got to see that he's got both these guys, both championship contenders are directly engaging with him up at the front. And the guys in 4th and 5th are sitting there. Someone's got a flat tire there, Greg.
Oh, certainly.
The Toon Racing,
Yeah, so that's Joseph Blasius.
Joseph Blasius, yeah.
Yeah, out of Northville, Missouri on that Toon Racing machine, so he's out of this one. Sometimes that can happen if you're jumping these curbs, by the way. That's part of what Sonoma Raceway can offer you.
And here comes Corey again. He's in the draft to Alex as they go down to turn 1. Yeah, Ashton's not going anywhere. He'll be able to reel those guys back in by the time they go up through turn 2, 3, 3A. I think you'll probably see Ashton in the back. He'll open up the entry to that turn a little bit more. He runs a lot of corner speed through the middle of this turn. You can see Ashton's right there on the back of Greg.
49.6, the fastest lap of the race on lap 2 by Ashton Yates. He qualified at a 49.1. We often talk about that because same rubber, same tires used in qualifying practices and races. So it gives us a good indicator of the speeds. Dumas last time around a 150.0. So for Dumas, that's only less than 0.2 of a second off of his best qualifying time.
And now a lot of that is because these guys are fighting for position at the front. You know, Corey got in there a little. You get in over those bumps, and it becomes. You really got to rely on front grip there when you go up over those bumps. We saw a couple incidents here last year in our Superbike race, and it's a big move to do that to get up underneath somebody. But you know, Corey's got a lot of pace, as does Ashton. And it looks like there's a couple places where Alex holds him up just ever so slightly.
Yeah, that's allowed the 2 Monkey Moto AGV Sport riders to catch up as well. So now we thought we had these 3 riders starting to eke away. That battling back and forth has allowed Mark Edwards and Jay Newton to catch back up. And it looks like Mark Edwards is up. Yeah, Edwards on the 26. The local rider, Edwards, is now in the mix.
Yeah, they're all right there. And looking on our screen right now, we're not seeing any real greens. Top 5 guys have broke away from that battle for 6, which looks like it's Almeida, Jackson Blackman, Toby Kamsuk right there. Those 3 guys are battling for 6th, 7th, and 8th. But we've got 5 guys in the front now. Corey, you can see how early Corey got on the gas as they came out of that last corner.
8 laps to go. Number 23, Alex Dumas leads. 64, Corey Ventura. 22, Ashton Yates. 26, Mark Edwards. 98, Jay Newton. And it looks like, yep, Ventura takes the spot. Good move for him. That was a drive up a hill.
Yeah, it was. And Ashton's trying to do something here. He was going to think about lining up Alex going into 3. Alex doing an upshift and a downshift before turn 3. So there's a lot of little shifting things that he's doing there. And you can see, look how much exit Corey uses as he comes up over the top of turn 4. He's just utilizing that corner speed a little bit. And he's able to pull away from Alex in this sector. Now, if Ashton gets a good run through here, he might try to go up underneath Alex going into the carousel, but it looks like he's a little too far back this time.
Tight lines too from Alex.
Yeah,
he would have made that very difficult.
Alex went in there pretty tight. And the KTM looks like it goes through the carousel really good. Like,
yeah, especially the exit
it
here.
looks fast just in it and through it. So now he's going to be in the draft. And now Edwards is trying to go up along the outside of Ashton as they head down at turn 7. That's going to be a hard move. But Alex's bike looks like it handles real good through the carousel. From the top of it, just on the edge of the tire all the way down.
Question is, does he have the confidence in the front end of that motorcycle to attack Corey Ventura as we head off into turns number 9A, 9B, that chicane? That's where we're headed right now. And Ventura's really fast on the exit of turn 8.
Well, he's just using up more track on the exit. He's utilizing that mid-corner speed that he has, and that's one thing that I can just see now that that Alex isn't utilizing as well. So, and now Ashton's got his hands full with Mark Edwards right behind him.
Yeah, and then Jay Newton's hanging around there as well.
Sitting there watching what's happening.
Just in case.
And we've seen this year where Ashton kind of gets up there and he puts a big battle at the front, but it looks like it's so much harder for him to kind of stick there than it is for some of the other guys. And he's really good up through this little section here, but he does seem to lose some from the top of the carousel down. But you can look how quick Corey pulls away from Alex, even going from turn 1 up to turn 2 on that Yamaha R3. He's really solid speed-wise all up through this section.
Yeah, for Alex Dumas, I think he's really got to put himself in front of Corey Ventura, say by turn number 7, in order to control the lines through turns 8, like that whole S section down there.
Yeah, he's losing a lot of time. Alex loses a lot of time from like the exit of 2 to the exit of 3A. But then from the top of this part right here, it looks like his bike just rolls right through this big long carousel, rolls through here really nice. He uses a little bit more exit than Corey. And look at the drive he was able to get on him there.
He just made up 7 bike lengths just through the carousel.
Just in the middle of the turn. It wasn't even...
Wow, and he's going for the lead. Can he hold it down is the question. He does. So back up front. So this is the interesting part here as we get late in the race. I want to see the difference between these two front runners, because it's this section here where Corey Ventura seems to really be able to get on the gas. Right here down to the chicane. The
exit of this, you can see, see how tight Alex is exiting there? You've got to get him to run a little bit more. Corey only followed him there, but Corey generally uses more exit on the exit of that corner, and it's allowing him to keep up his corner speed. I think that later on in the race, if it was to come to this, Corey could utilize some of his exit speed coming up over the top of the hill and line Alex up, going down into Alex goes down and Corey goes down right behind him.
Wow.
First and second. That's just trail breaking in. That's a huge mistake for both of them, but Corey probably just didn't want to run over Alex, and he just locked up the front brake with him. Don't see those two guys making mistakes that often, those two guys. And Alex's bike
broke the handlebar.
Yep, snapped off the handlebar.
And if Ashton Yates is able to win this one, Yates is going to claw back 25 valuable points. So now all of a sudden it becomes not just a matter of winning the race, it becomes a big swing in the championship. Alex Dumas is 48, so it's not quite 2 races, but at least Ashton Yates, if he can win this one now, he will get to within 23 points of this rider right here.
Corey got back up and got going, and you can see a little bit of chatter, and he just kind of gets in there, still trail braking. That front's gone, and poor Corey just did the same thing right behind him. Just didn't want to run him over, didn't have anywhere to go. Let's say, I'm sure. Look at Ashton. Ashton's got the thing sideways.
Yeah. Wow.
In the middle of the turn. Ashton was dead sideways. It could have been really easy that all 3 of those guys could have gone down. Now the battle going down into turn 7 right now. Ashton goes underneath Mark Edwards as they head down into 7. So now it's really a battle between 2 guys, as it looks like they've just pulled away a tiny bit from Jay Newton.
So now we have Ashton Yates, whose lineage, his dad Aaron Yates, who was absolutely magical here as we look at Alex Dumas walking away. and local favorite Mark Edwards battle it out. Could we have a situation where we have only our 4th new winner, different winner, in the Liqui Moly Junior Cup presented by Riders Law class? It's going to come down to this. Ashton Yates, though, now has it his way, and this is about putting yourself in the position in case disaster strikes. We know what happened last time we came through this corner. Everybody nice and clean. You can tell how much tighter Ashton took that corner. Alex was just a little wider than normal, and it was that one bump that caught him out and locked the front tire, and down he went.
And you're right, Greg. There are bumps down there. There are some bumps down there in that turn. So this is coming up over into the carousel. You can see Ashton's really tight going over those bumps. He's going to be able to use his legs and things to kind of soak those bumps up, almost like a motocrosser does when they scrub a jump. He's going to be able to use his legs and things to go through those bumps and not upset the motorcycle quite as much. So that was a good pass down through the carousel, and you can see what it has done. Look at that first split, Greg. It's gone purple on our screen. Ashton realizes right now the opportunity he's been handed here by Alex's demise there going in turn 11. This guy was able to get back up. Corey Ventura got back up, still inside the top 15, running 14th place right now. And you can see Sean Barsky just behind him.
So Corey just trying to do the right thing and not run over Alex Dumas. At least that's the way it looked on our screen.
Yeah.
Was able to pick it up, and at the moment he's in a points-paying position for Corey Ventura, who sits 4th in this championship, and he is behind Sean Barsky, 8 points, so he would have moved himself. And there's a look at the disappointed
Alex talking there over what might have happened, and you can see they're talking about some bumps possibly, and just hitting those things, and you can see it just happens that easy, Greg. You can see the little bit of chatter prior, and I feel really bad for Corey.
And take a look at the right part of your screen. Watch Ashton. When he gets on the gas, he just turns his head and looks, and that little bit of concentration
would have been really easy for all 3 of them to just go down. And in this lap particularly, you can see there's the reason why Alex wasn't able to get back up and keep going, unfortunately.
Yeah, Canadian style is still gonna send it. He did on that one, but unfortunately it didn't work out that time. So our points leader, Alex Dumas, is out of this one. And back to live coverage is now Jamie Ostadillo is up into 13th spot. So from 20th to 13th, she's having a decent go at it right now as Corey Ventura.
That'll be the last spot that Corey might be able to make up, I think. And, he might be able to catch one more guy up there ahead, just looking at the battles in front of him. But Ashton Yates just threw in a 49.3, and Mark Edwards wasn't phased. 49.2 for Mark Edwards, so he's doing his best. Ashton did what he thought he could do to break away from Mark, and Mark went with him and went quicker. 49.3 to 49.2. Jane Newton back there just ran a 50.6, so almost 1.5 seconds faster were the 2 in front as they head down into the carousel again. So it's going to be interesting to see. When Ashton's pushing this hard right now, he would hope to come around and see a +1 on his board. And when you don't see a +1, it can kind of make you think, oh man, I'm riding as hard as I can. I can't get away. Mark Edwards looks extremely comfortable to me right now, Greg, just sitting there in second.
Out of Roseville, California, same hometown as a guy you might know, Cameron Bobier. Could Roseville, California be the next Owensboro, Kentucky?
New hotbed.
It's a little early to say that, of course. However, he's got a lot of friends here cheering him on, and I'm sure Cameron Bobier as well. So local rider just up the street in Roseville in second spot, trying to notch his first win of the season. His teammate, number 98, Jay Newton.
Doing a great job.
Unbelievable job on that Monkey Moto AGV Sport Yamaha R3.
Yep, he's just got himself right in the podium spot that he needs to be in, and I'm sure that maybe overnight they can try to figure out some things that they can do better on this bike for him tomorrow, so he can get down to these lap times that his teammates doing up in the front. But we've seen Jay put in some incredible rides this year, obviously, and for him to get another podium would be perfect.
And Ashton Yates again pushing the issue. Just set the fastest lap of his fastest time.
Oh,
Jay.
There it goes.
There goes Mark Edwards.
Mark Edwards at the top of turn 2. So Ashton pushing the pace actually did affect the outcome of this thing. So now Ashton's going to come around and he's going to see +4 on his board. I'm sure Dad, Aaron, and Lucky as well are both going to have that board out for him to see. But you can see this is just a little bit too much corner speed at the top of turn 2, Greg, and just tuck in the front, losing it very, very, almost a little bit past the apex there.
Looked a little wide to me.
Maybe on his entry just a little bit,
just a little bit, but Hearts are breaking down there in the Monkey Moto AGV Sport Pit. David Roy, team principal right now, probably just rolling his eyes. He's a former racer at this level, is David Roy, who started that program with a single rider. Now I think he has 3 underneath his canopy.
Well, they're doing a good job. They've got a couple of their guys running up front, and but this guy now is going to have pretty much a cakewalk to the finish. If he just, once he gets this pit board that they'll show him when he gets back around here, he's going to feel a lot more relaxed seeing +4 on his board, or +5, whatever it's going to be, than he would have if he was going into these last couple of laps with +0.
So
now we got a big battle for third, though, because behind them, Kevin Almeida and Jackson Blackman are engaged pretty heavily in a big fight, and not too far behind them is Toby Kamsuk. So Toby's going to see that there's an opportunity here for a podium, so let's see if he can push himself forward and try to get up with those other 2 guys now.
Ashton with a look around,
Now Ashton knows.
Before he gets that pit board, and he takes a look at his pit board. That's a signal board. You can see on the right part of your screen that signals to the rider what's going on. So Ashton with a little head nod acknowledging that he's got the information, and he knows that he is 6 seconds ahead of Jay Newton, who's now carrying the flag for the Monkey Moto AGV Sport team. And here is that battle for third spot. Kevin Olmedo and Jackson Blackman going at it. Olmedo 14, Blackman on the 18. All right, so Kevin Olmedo on that number 14 machine. He's also a Monkey Moto AGV Sport rider, so the potential there after an exit of one of their riders to put 2 on the box, where Jackson Blackman on the 18 is on that Riders Law Racing machine, and Riders Law stepping up to be presented by, for this particular race weekend, the Liqui Moly Junior Cup presented by Riders Law. They would love to see their rider standing on a podium as well.
And Jackson's been hunting a podium. We've seen him in this position a couple times, Greg, where he's been fighting for podiums. We saw him at Laguna, I think, actually crash out of third. So right now, Jackson is, again, another one of the kids. Him and Corey both went over to the VR46 camp over there in Italy with Josh Hayes, and he's probably come back here feeling a little bit more confident with things, and he's hunting for that podium.
Nice to see Toby Kamsuk, the 27, back there in 5th spot. Toby Kamsuk on the Toby K Racing.
And he's closing on these guys. I'm just looking at our splits times. We have that advantage, and Toby closed up on these guys in front of him, closed up on Jackson by 0.4 of a second in the first split. Second split now, I'm just waiting for those to come up, and he's closed up on him even more, Greg. So now Toby does realize, hey, there's a podium right in front of me right now. This might be my best chance so far of the year to try to get this thing up on the podium. And he's closed. Right now, he's on his personal best lap this race of the race. So we're going to be. And now Ashton's getting the white flag. So they're coming to the last lap, that battle for third.
So Ashton Yates, off of a good start in the mix. It was 5 deep at one point, and he has been able to stay. He's been staying on 2 wheels. I was going to say mistake-free, but he's made a couple big ones that we saw.
And Toby lost a lot in the last split. Toby lost everything he gained. He lost in that very last split, and you can see they've dropped him. So I'm not sure the mistake he made. This battle for third is going to go down between Jackson and Kevin Almeida.
Now Kevin, last time through the chicane, he ruled the chicane over Jackson Blackman. That's only 1 lap that we've seen, so we can't say that it's been like that all race long. But I think Jackson Blackman, if that has been the case, knows he's got to figure out a way to get ahead of the 14 bike before the chicane. If not, then he's going to have to do a really crazy move into that final first gear turn 11, which we saw earlier on in the race, our 2 leaders throw it down the road.
Yeah, and all the little accidents they've had have been very minor, which is good. Kevin's trying to run a lot of exit speed there, and see if he keeps over to the right here and doesn't allow Jackson. Jackson's in the draft. He's pulling out to the right there. Now it's going to be a battle of braking going down into this area, and you can see Jackson's able to go up underneath him. Kevin's going to try to, nope, not quite there to close it back up underneath. So Jackson's got to be clean through all these S's and get through 8A good so that hopefully Kevin will pull back up underneath him.
Yeah, so this is where it's going to be really interesting, because Kevin was very strong in the chicane last time. A little bit of a head shake, so now he wants to lead into the chicane. Can he get it turned on this one? He's trying to slow that motorcycle down. He does it.
He's really fast, Greg, over the top of 8A. You're exactly right. And that lined him up. And you can see our winner coming to the line here, Ashton Yates.
So here comes the number 22. Ashton Yates will take victory at Sonoma Raceway in race number 1. So Yates with his 3rd win of the season. And in 2nd place, Jay Newton is going to come across the line. And
wow, I think Jackson got him.
Got him. Blackman got him. by 0.026 of a second. So what a move for Jackson Blackman, who finds himself on the podium for the first time this season. So Jackson Blackman, who's had a couple of fifth-place finishes, have been his best, a couple fifths and a couple sixths, finds his way to the podium. So for Jackson Blackman, he's going to be another. So far, Jason, this year, we've had 10 different podium finishers before this race. Now Jackson Blackman adds himself to that list. As well, Jay Newton's been on the podium. He's had a second and a third place finish.
Yep.
So in terms of this podium, we added an 11th different person to go stand on the podium this season.
Yeah, Jay finished second there in Utah, and when you look at a little further back, you can see that Corey Ventura got it picked up, finished 10th, and Mark Edwards also got it picked up, finished 13th. So those guys still got into the points, which is good.
No, it looks like, what do you think, clutch he's talking about there, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. I didn't actually see exactly what he was.
I think he was kind of, he pointed to his
clutch or brakes or something.
To the clutch side, something like that, and just kind of said, yep, and that happens.
Yep.
So Ashton Yates, when it comes in the record book, 7.6 seconds will be the margin of victory. Jackson Blackman in third. He'll be 10.5 seconds adrift. So a third place finish obviously is what you want to stand on the podium here at Sonoma Raceway. But that team will go back, and Riders Law team will take a look at the total distance between him and the race winner. And here's a look at that battle for third finish.
It was close, and when I was looking at the window, I was watching him come to the line. You could see Almeida kind of maybe thought he was going to get it, but Jackson got a really good drive out of the last corner. That could be something as simple as gearing too. You just never know. You know, as far as what made it to where he could get the drive.
Exactly, and these are street motorcycles. I mean, these are R3s and you know, Ninja 400s, and that you can just buy off of the showroom floor. And so you've got to make that stock transmission work for you. There's looks at Alex Dumas' bike. He was parked
up against the wall.
Yeah, on the entrance to our hot pits, pit lane. So they'll be heading off to Parc Fermé into Winner's Circle. Yates, Newton, and Blackman. So good for Jackson Blackman. I mean, you know, you go to the VR46 ranch, and definitely an improvement. Here's your final results. As you can see, it's Almeida in fourth, Toby Kamsuk in fifth.
Good result for Toby, yeah.
Yep. Gavin Anthony, Renzo Ferreira, who actually, he's on bike number 31. He had a jump start penalty, so we'll have to see if Renzo actually came in for that penalty. We didn't see him come in. So we'll see if there's something assessed later on. But right now, we'll say Renzo's in seventh. Jared Nassani is in eighth. Damian Jigaloff in ninth.
Yep.
Corey Ventura worked his way up to 10th spot. So for Corey, that's going to be 6 points that he earned in his championship battle. But Sean Umbarski, who he's working it out with in third spot right now, they're kind of battling it for third in the championship, finished 11th, so it's only 1 point. Ostadio from 20th to 12th. Mark Edwards picked it up in 13th. Cameron Jones and Nate Minster.
Yeah, and you can see Jeremy Toy down there helping out with the Yates family on that Kawasaki 400. So great to see Jeremy around. It's funny, Greg, you look back on the last lap there and you see a purple sector on the last lap for Renzo Ferreira in the last segment. So he's just continuing to get used to this track and never been here before type of thing. Probably a lot different circuit than what he's been used to seeing. I can't remember if he came here before, Greg, when we were. I don't think he was here last year. So this is our second year here. So he would not have seen this place.
And by the way, if you're just curious as to the speed that these motorcycles go, the fastest recorded top speed by MotoAmerica, 102 miles an hour on a 300.
Coming to the line, too.
Yeah, coming to the line. Yeah. Exactly.
It says Almeida, but I'm going to say it's probably Jackson Blackman because he's drafted through. There's the confirmation of the results with Newton right behind Yates, and then Blackman, Almeida, Toby Kamsuk, Gavin Anthony, Ferreira.
We don't expect this to actually be the final results because Renzo, race control told us he did not come in for his jump start penalty, so he's going to be assessed some time. So this will be a little bit different tomorrow once they get all of that sorted out. And a lot of these riders will shift up a notch from 7th. So
did we see a jump start penalty for Ashton in Utah, right? So basically got just taken off the results. I believe that's what it was, wasn't it? Ashton in Utah in the second race, I believe.
Yeah, for not doing that. Yeah. Exactly.
But look what it did to the points. Ashton Yates now just 23 points back. We've seen some mistakes by riders at the beginning of these, at the start of the season. We saw Alex Bike not start, and then we saw him tip over, and we've seen Ashton do the same thing. We saw Ashton get a no result at Utah. Sean Varsky moves up a little bit, gains a few points. He was 61 points back. Now he's up to third and only 56 back. Newton, Ventura, Anthony Blackman, Astudillo, and Gage Reese, their top 9.